Hey, what's up, guys? Will here for my official UFC 247 fight predictions. Jon Jones defends his UFC light heavyweight championship against the Devastator, I think it is, Dominick Reyes in the main event with uh, Valentina Shevchenko against Katlyn Chookagian in your kind of co-main event for her title there being defended. Coming from Houston, Texas here. Always like when they kind of go down to Texas, they usually have some fairly decent cards. Always a little bit kind of skeptical with the judging. You have to kind of really be careful because they can be a little bit shady sometimes. So, yeah, but like if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. What's up, guys? I see a couple of you in the chat already. I'm getting this out right before the Super Bowl in the next half an hour. I've been meaning to get it out all day, but I've been out doing family stuff. And I've got the Chiefs. I've got the Chiefs in the Super Bowl before even going off there. So, yeah, what's up, guys? Like I said, see you in the chat. It's like I said, if you can hit that like button, and if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button and help me grow my channel. So yeah, this card, I don't think it's a great card. I'm actually contemplating whether I will stay up. I might get up and actually just watch the main event. I think I'll go up at maybe 6 a.m. on Sunday morning and watch the fights instead of watching the whole entirety of the fights. The card just really doesn't do much. Not even the main card. There's a couple of fights dotted throughout which I think that are okay, but there's some fights I'm just like not too kind of interested in, if I'm being honest with you. But anytime that Jon Jones is kind of around, it kind of piques my interest because the guy is the greatest of all time, in my opinion. So we're going to start down. This is a fight. I've only watched one fight of either guy. What's up, Aussie MMA? I see you, brother. Because I just haven't had time to really kind of research these two. So it's Austin Lingo against Youssaf Zalal. Who's coming in here. I think that this was only made like the middle of this past week here. So you've got a guy I think come from Fortis MMA in Lingo and a guy in Lalal who Zalal comes from Factory X. So two good camps, two good prospects. I think one's 7-1, another one's 7-0. I've only really watched the last fights of both guys, and from what I see, I think Zalal, it's a little bit kind of too quick to be coming into the UFC. Probably for both guys, a little bit too quick. They've been thrown in. That's what happens when you get fights getting thrown off and so on. But when I look at Lingo, I think, like I say, I've only watched one fight. I'm probably going to end up watching a couple tomorrow when I'm off. Well, my daughter's probably taking a nap or whatever. But just what I see, I think he can take Zalal down. I think he can pound him on him a little bit. So that's kind of where I'm going. Like I say, I wouldn't really take too much stock with this pick because, like I say, I've watched one fight. I like to watch at least 3-4 fights before kind of really making a kind of prediction. So, but like I say, there's no point in me talking about a fight and then not making a prediction. So my prediction is probably going to be Austin Lingo. But like I say, take that with a pinch of salt because I've really not kind of had the chance to kind of look into it. So, Lingo via unanimous decision now. Andre Ewell against Jonathan Martinez. This is a close fight. I'm struggling with this one a little bit because Jonathan Martinez, I give him a lot of credit, a really kind of tough guy. Where Ewell's really awkward. But I've got no real confidence that he can kind of maintain that through a 15-minute fight. So, by the way, Lingo, did I say unanimous decision? It was TKO I wanted to do by, I've got it in my corner there. I totally looked at the wrong thing. It's Lingo by TKO. But yeah, getting back to this, Ewell, a guy there's been some people that have been really high on Andre Ewell and I'm just like, what the hell is going on? So, some people think he's a absolute, he's a good fighter. I'm just like, no, I think he's a journeyman pro. He came in, he obviously got a lot of hype after the Henry Barrow fight. Like I say, throws a lot of kind of funky strikes, can keep his distance. I like Jonathan Martinez. I think he can get in close and like get inside of the strikes of Andre Ewell. He just has to be a little bit careful because he might get hit with a funky strike and get hurt with that. I think in the clinch, he can maybe work Ewell a little bit. Ewell's saying this is the best he's going to look coming out. I've watched a couple of interviews regarding him, and like I said, I was in my early insight videos a lot more confident in Andre Ewell before. Really, once I watched his fights, I'm like, yeah, this guy's not great. Martinez has shown that he's got a lot of heart. I know he lost to Sukumtath and whatever, but he's got a lot of heart and he's got some clean striking when he wants to show it. Definitely a lot cleaner than what Ewell's got. Ewell's just a kind of herky-jerky striker. I think he can maybe mix up a little bit better than what Martinez can. I think Martinez is a better combination striker. But Martinez is going to give Ewell a run for his money. This is a close fight. I wouldn't bet this one at all, not unless you've got a really good read. I'm going to pick Andre Ewell via decision. But it wouldn't surprise me if Martinez came out here and got a good win. So I'm going to take Andre Ewell in that one there. Johnny Newson against Domingo Pilarte at bantamweight here. This is a good fight, and I actually really like Johnny Newson in this one. When I went back and watched the Pilarte fight, and it was quite obviously recent because we were watching fights on Colares, and his last fight was against Pilarte. Pilarte, to me, big guy for bantamweight. Yeah, big guy for bantamweight. I think he's like 6 feet 6'1", so, and he's like not getting young in age, so he's getting a little bit older. I think his body's maybe starting to kind of not react well to the weight cut. He seems to me from previous fights that he's definitely a lot slower with his striking, and I just think maybe the weight cut's maybe starting to get to him. Like I say, he can be taken down. He has some good striking himself, but like I said, I just think this might be a good fight for Newson. I was actually really impressed, but well, not really impressed, but I liked what I seen from Newson in his debut. I know he came in like, I think it was 2 weeks short notice, small dude for the division, like 5'5". I think he could make flyweight if he was to push himself. Got some really good striking and really nice check left hook, which I really liked. He's got some nice kind of hook kicks as well, and the guy's got a chin. The guy caught a couple of elbows from Ricardo Ramos, which helps because Ramos was a big guy moving down to bantamweight. He was at bantamweight, but then the weight cut was so much that he's moved himself up to featherweight. So that's nice that his previous opponent was bigger, longer reach, what Pilarte is here. Newsom did put himself in a little bit of some bad places in that fight. I mean, Ricardo Ramos got to full mount, I think it was in the first round, and got him in submission, nearly got him there, but managed to scramble his way out. I like what I see. I think he's got a lot of really good combination striking. I think he's got a good chin. I think he's faster than Pilarte. I think he can... what's the word I was trying to say there? I think he can mix up a little bit more with his kind of feints and his striking more than Pilarte. The only worry I've got is Pilarte if he gets to the ground, because Pilarte is a bigger dude. But Newson, we've seen that he clamped onto a guillotine against Ramos, nearly got it. That third, well, nearly got it. It was a good attempt, but it was never really close. And I prefer picking Newson in this. It's like a dog or pass fight for me in this one. I think it's a close run fight, but I like Newson. I think he's going to be more active throughout the 15 minutes of the fight, and I think that he can get the job done there. So Jon Newson for me there via a decision. So Miles Jones against Mauro Bautista. This is the fight I looked into very quickly when the betting lines were got announced, because I thought the betting line was off. And in my opinion it is. I'm going with Mauro Bautista in this fight. Miles Jones, when you look at him, really good wrestler, athletic, explosive wrestler, but is susceptible to getting hit. But when you look at Bautista, he is kind of susceptible to getting taken down. That's obvious when you watch his fight, because he took Sandhagen down, Sandhagen took him down. And then you watch his last fight against the Korean dude whose name I forget right now, took him down and had his way with him a little bit in points, but Bautista did very well and was very scrappy to get back to his feet. What I liked about Bautista is he's good at kind of maintaining range, he's good in close as well. I think he's really good in the clinch, he's got some nasty elbows in the clinch, and he throws it all together. I think he's got better gas tank. I think he's got better overall striking. I think he's actually tougher than Jones is. I think he could really beat up Jones on the feet if he really gets into a flow. But obviously the big thing here is if Miles Jones can take him down, because if he can and he can establish some top position, then it could be a bad night for Bautista. But I like what I've seen with him trying to work his way back to his feet. Like I say, Jones had a really tough fight against Cole Smith, where Smith's a big dude for that division. He really is. And he had some points here when he had the back. He was going for chokes. But ultimately, I thought the right decision was to give Miles Jones the win in that one there. So it's whether he can get takedowns and establish on the ground. Because I think if he can have good top time down there, that's when he could probably win this fight. I just like Bautista. I think he is going to get taken down. Um, yeah, if he is going to get taken down, I think he's going to get back to his feet, and I think in those positions, I think Bautista's going to outwork him and hit him with some big shots. I really hope he clinches up with him here, but has to be very obviously defensive minded if he gets into a clinch position, just in case Jones goes down for a takedown through that. But I'm going to pick Mauro Bautista again in another close fight. I bet Mario Bautista plus 140. The betting odds, I've no idea. I've not looked at them the last day or two. I'm guessing it's probably tightened up a little bit. Plus 105, he's went down there, so there's money definitely coming in on him. But I've got Bautista to win that one there. Lauren Murphy against Andrea Lee. I've got Andrea Lee in this fight. I think that she's faster. I think she can throw more strikes. I think she's got more variation with her strikes, better footwork. I think she can take the fight to the ground. I think she's got good submissions. Lauren Murphy, she's a lot older. A lot, not as I was going to say a lot wiser, but maybe not as wise there. So, but she's tough. She's a tough girl to get out. I just when I look at the whole matchup here, I think that Lauren Murphy, I just think she's a little bit behind what Andrea Lee really is. I think Andrea Lee's just a lot more crisper, just faster. I think she's more durable. I think if this was to be a stand-up fight, I think that the technical side of Andrea Lee would really kind of stand out, and but Lauren Murphy I think will try and mix up. But I've seen Andrea Lee submit girls on the ground as well, so that's something you have to take in consideration. I'm seeing a lot of people. I've had a few people actually message me thinking Lauren Murphy is really live in this one. I've had a few people saying that Andrea Lee, I think she's going to be a good parlay piece. It's not a fight I want anything to do with betting wise, but. Yeah, I'm gonna go Andrea Lee via decision. Alex Morono against Kalinn Williams is up next. This is another guy who's coming in very, very short notice. There is Kalinn Williams. Alex Morono, he was supposed to fight Diego Lima, and obviously Lima caught an injury, had to pull out from the fight. And then you've got Williams here, 9-1, fighting out of Michigan, who is coming in here against Alex Morono. I think Morono at this point, if he doesn't beat a guy like Kalinn Williams on short notice, I think that's a bad look. But Alex Morono's never been a guy I've been super confident with in watching fights. He is tough. He comes from a great camp. He seems to me like he's making the kind of relevant additions to his game. Like he's starting to try and get finishes. He's always, I think, been a really aggressive fighter who is a little bit susceptible being hit with a big shot. But I mean, he's won his last 3 fights. He had a big 2018 finish to 2018, 2 big wins in 2019, and yeah, like I say, this guy I don't think is a bit lower level like what he's faced. He's faced tougher guys like a Max Griffin. I see he's a tough guy. He's a hard guy to put away. Zach, I'll give him a bit of credit there. Like he's not the worst guy in the world. Song Kanan, I'm a little bit iffy with him, but Keita Nakamura I think's a really tough veteran fighter. I think here that Alex Morono will probably look to try and take this to the ground. I think he could start to smash him up a little bit with his ground and pound. When you look at Williams' record, I've only watched a couple of fights, but he's 4 knockouts, 4 decisions, so you can see he's a little bit susceptible on the ground, but he has some decent power there, and he can last out the 15 minutes. I don't fancy taking a shot on Williams here. I'm going to take Alex Morono, TKO via ground and pound, probably early round 3. I'm going to go for a kind of late-ish finish in that one there. Moving on to Trevin Giles against Antonio Arroyo. So if some of you folks watched the L Insight video that I had, I was leaning Antonio Arroyo, and I've kind of changed over to Trevin Giles a little bit. It was a fight that I thought, right, Antonio Arroyo, he's obviously got some disruptive power, especially with those kicks. If he can land those kicks anywhere in the body and the legs and continuously do that, he's going to be a really hard guy to kind of face. But when I look at Trevin Giles, I was a little bit iffy regarding where he is in his career now. He's focusing with his life outside the cage a little bit more, being a policeman, I believe, and he's got a growing family. He said he took a time away from the sport and now he's back. But when I went back and I watched Arroyo, especially against Maniz last time out. Obviously, he loved the big kicks. I think that's what initially I remember. Thought big, dangerous kicks can really hurt you at any time. But what I totally forgot about was his gas tank. He's got a bad gas tank, and I think Trevin Giles can work that out of him. I think he can clinch him up. I think he can stop those disruptive strikes that Arroyo can throw. And then ultimately, I think that he can get the fight maybe to the ground. I mean, Andre Maniz, who was the last opponent of Antonio Arroyo, he kind of did that a little bit there. He was a submission guy, so he was looking obviously to get the fight there. I think if I'm Trevin Giles, I'm trying to get the fight to the ground, but be careful because Arroyo has submissions on his record, so that's something that he has to be super, super careful of. But like I say, the initial lean was Arroyo, but I'm changing over to Trevin Giles. I think that he's got this over a decision. I think that Arroyo will do enough to stay in the fight. He'll have some spots, I think, where he'll land some decent strikes, but ultimately I've got Trevin Giles in that one there. Moving on to the heavyweight card, the main card, sorry, we're in the heavyweight division, that's what I'm trying to say. We have the Black Beast Derrick Lewis against Ilir Latifi, who's moving up to heavyweight, and like this is a total pass fight for me regarding betting this fight because you cannot trust Derrick Lewis, I don't think, at any point. I've bet him in the past. I bet him against Volkov, completely getting beat for 14 minutes of that fight, catches him with a shot, and that's all it takes with this guy. It really does. I think he'll be G'd up to be fighting at home. Fighting in Houston, it's got to be a massive, massive thing for Derrick Lewis. And he's got obviously a guy coming up who he's going to absolutely tower over with. But like I say, I've just got both guys are very, very inactive. Obviously, Derrick Lewis is a bit of a disruptor with his power that if he hits you clean, he can knock you out. We've seen Latifi knocked out. But he can have large parts inactivity. He can, like, the whole being kicked in the gut and then holding the gut and saying this and doing that. And, like, there's just times in the fight there, he's obviously very tough because he's taken some shots, went down, holding his gut or whatever, and then still managed to fight on because I think people are scared of his power and what he brings in the fight. But like I say, I thought I was kind of more confident before kind of looking into a couple of fights. I think Latifi could have an opportunity here to maybe bust some parlays. I think people are going to think Derrick Lewis is going to have a good opportunity to win. I think he does as well, and I think ultimately he's going to be my pick. And I've got a funny feeling that the next time I make a video, this is the fight that I'm going to say, well, I should have picked Latifi because beforehand I thought Lewis would get it done, and then I looked into it and I think Latifi's got an opportunity to maybe get a single leg, grab him down. Whether he can keep him there is another thing. Maybe he can hold on to him against the cage, possibly do that, because I mean, Latifi's a really, really strong dude. Like I say, if you're betting Derrick Lewis, I wish you all the best. Like I haven't got the balls to go and bet him, put him in a parlay. Initially I thought he might be alright. Nah, not for me. I'm going to sit back whenever I watch this fight and just see where it goes. Like I say, if you want to take a shot at Latifi, you're going to get decent odds. Was it plus 215? That's decent odds if you want a shot and a big underdog in this card. I'm going to pick Derrick Lewis via TKO though. I think he catches Latifi with that shot. If he doesn't, then it could get a little bit closer if Latifi can kind of grab him up a little bit. But yeah, I'm going to go Derrick Lewis in that one. I'm going to go TKO round number 2. But like I say, if you're betting Latifi, I wish you all the best because I think that he could have points in this fight where he might look like he's going to cash for you. But I just don't trust either guy. I'll go with the big bomber and Derrick Lewis to get it done there. Mirsad Bektic against Dan Ige. This was probably the fight on the card I really looked into a lot. I enjoyed looking into a lot. That's what it was, because I've liked the maturation of Dan Ige as a fighter. I think he's made some good strides in his game. I think that he's beat the caliber opposition and put in front of him that you kind of really have to beat. I thought his last fight against Kevin Aguilar was fantastic. He really, with his striking, he sat back, stayed very composed, picked some great shots, countered with some great shots, because Aguilar, that guy's got a chin. He took some big shots. I think he got put in his backside a couple of times by Dan Ige. He had a couple of spots where he had Ige on his back, but he never really had anything for him on the mats. Where I think if Bektic gets him there, I think he could have something for Dan Ige on the mat, because I think he's a stronger fighter than what Aguilar is in that position. When you look at striking, though, I think you have to give the edge to Ige, and especially with Mirsad Bektic, with the kind of chin issues that he's had. Dropped by a jab by Josh Emmett. There's no shame in that, because Josh Emmett, we know, has a ton of power. And if he catches you with any kind of clean shot, he can put you on backside. You've seen that. You obviously seen him with his big hooks. And with the jab that he dropped Bektic. We've also seen in the past that Bektic got absolutely tore through by Darren Elkins in the third round after 2 10-8 rounds. That's what he did. He won the first 2 rounds against Elkins 10-8 and was on his way to completely winning that fight, and then completely got obliterated by Darren Elkins in the third round. So that's sceptical, to say the least. Like, you kind of have to be careful there. But again, when you look at Dan Ige's record, who he's faced in the UFC, I mean, he came in off the Dana White Contender Show and he fought Arce, who I think is a good fighter. But when you look at his opponents, Santiago, Griffin's tough. Danny Henry, that was just a beautiful submission. He leapt on the back there and got that. Kevin Aguilar, tough. This is definitely a step up in caliber opposition, in my opinion, against Bektic, who I still harbour a lot of good feelings with him being a decent fighter. When I watch Bektic, I think he's fundamentally a really, really good fighter, but I just don't think he pushes himself enough. I think if he could push himself just a little bit more and really rely on his grappling, that's what I think he has to do here. I think he can stay competitive with Ige on the feet, but what I've seen from Ige in his last fight was that he's very composed and he picks his shots really well. So yeah, I'm picking Mirsad Bektic. I'm sticking with my pick. Everybody, and I mean everybody, seems to be on Dan Ige. I don't know whether it's because he's got plus money beside his name. I don't know what it is. But I see this one being very, very close. I think that these will be close. I think I can see Bektic having time on the mats where he can get Ige down and have some spots for maybe a couple of minutes of the round. I can see on the feet Ige kind of maybe winning the striking battle and then them clinching up. I think that Bektic is the stronger fighter. Don't forget about Ige's groundwork. Good wrestling himself, good jiu-jitsu. Very, very tough, very, very strong. I just like Bektic in this spot. I thought when I went into the fight that my position in the fight would change. Initially I was on Bektic. I still got him to win this fight, honestly. I've got him to win this fight via split decision. I see it being super, super close though. I'm going to sit back. That's outside the main event. I think it's the fight I'm really looking forward to watching. So I'm going to pick Mirsad Bektic via split decision in that one. Yeah, Juan Adams against Justin Tafa. Like I say, when I was doing the early insight video, I picked Juan Adams, and then I went back and watched him like, why am I picking this dude? I know he's against the guy who's 3-1, who got absolutely sparked and conscious. I know he's against the guy who's got a very little ground game. But Juan Adams as a fighter, to me, it's like, I don't know. I went on his Instagram over the last kind of week and looked at his stories, and I'm just like, does this guy want to be a fighter? He's complaining every day about the weight cut. He's going and getting pedicures instead of being in the gym. You've got people commenting on his Instagram saying, like, fighters who are in Jackson Wink, where are you? You should be at training, and he's not there. So I'm like, what is he doing? And plus, when you see what he was like against, Greg Hardy shot in for the single leg and just didn't move from there and got hit, and then acted like an absolute fool after getting knocked out, and he's running out the cage and he's throwing his mouthpiece into the crowd, and then you watch the Chris De La Rocha fight. Now, he had spots. He could definitely have spots in this fight where he could take Justin Tafa down. And if he does, and he establishes any position up top, then he could rain some big ground and pound. He's a big dude. From just looking at his Instagram his last week, he's definitely cut him down from over 300 pounds. So he's definitely a big guy. Tafa's not a big guy. I think he's 265, but he's probably big built, being Samoan and so on. Tafa has been at Tiger Muay Thai for this one, working with the Hickman brothers, who are really good grapplers, originally from Georgia, I believe. So yeah, like I say, I picked Juan Adams before, but you know what? I would rather just I might get slated for this pick, but I would rather pick Justin Tafa, who went out on his shield, went out like a man against Jorgen De Castro. Yeah, I don't really want to pick Juan Adams in a fight. I don't. I thought that the fights that I watched him against Bueller, I bet Bueller in that position. He was underdog. I was like, why? I bet Greg Hardy in that position. Um, but like I say, Justin Tafa, what's his odds? Plus 200. I don't think I could bet the fight, honestly. But I'm going to pick him just because I don't want to pick Juan Adams. I want to pick a guy who will come out here and look to fight, look for the knockout. I think that obviously Juan Adams will, and he could not do with that. But I just, I don't want to pick Juan Adams. I'm going to pick Justin Tafa, and hopefully he can bring this win back. But like I say, this could look like an absolute shocking pick. He could be knocked out after a minute or 2 minutes after being taken down easily and ground and pounded. I don't care. I don't want to pick Juan Adams in this spot. I'd rather pick Justin Tafa, and hopefully he gets it done by knockout. So Justin Tafa via knockout. I'll go round one. A round one knockout for Justin Tafa. Valentina Shevchenko against Katlyn Chookagian's up next. I'm picking Valentina. I'm not picking Katlyn Chookagian in this spot. Like I say, I said in the early Insight videos, like, Katlyn was coming out and saying she's never fought a fighter like me before. I'm like, I don't think you bring anything to the table that Valentina hasn't faced already. What I do think she is, a good point fighter, obviously, because she wins a lot of fight via decision. I actually think she's really good, fairly decent with her jiu-jitsu. I think she's pretty decent down there, but I think that Valentina will still match her stride for stride on the ground if it goes there. If it doesn't go there, I see Valentina just absolutely cutting off the cage for the vast majority of the fight and just outworking her. I mean, that Jessica Eye fight was beautiful for the 6 minutes the fight lasted. Obviously, there was the kicks. There was the big, massive body kicks, which shelled Jessica Eye up really, really quickly. But there was also the takedown in that fight, which she dominated once she got Jessica Eye and put her on her back and just beat her ass up big time. But like I say, she set that knockout up from the very first body kick that she threw in that first round. And even the commentators, you could see they were leaning into, like, this is getting worse, and her defense was going to lower into her body, and the head kick was going to come up top, and that's exactly what happened. That was one of the most vicious knockouts of 2019, without a shadow of a doubt. Like I say, do I give Chookagian any chance? No. I think if they fought 100 times, Chookagian might get one or two out of that. Valentina right now is just too good. Chookagian, like I say, I don't think she's got any dangerous weapons that is going to. Like, when you look at the people that she's fought, like Jędrzejczyk, you would have thought maybe her striking would be something for Valentina. Written it off big time. Never really happened there. Obviously, you've got Nunes, who we know is probably the greatest women's fighter of all time. She's very established in every area. She's a very good striker. She's got jiu-jitsu. She's got wrestling and everything else. There's no harm in losing that. And probably Shevchenko really pushed her during this new kind of version of Amanda Nunes more than anybody has. I still think she can beat Amanda Nunes personally. I think if they were fight a third time, I think she would have a big shot against Nunes, but that might never ever happen again. But the question is here, does Valentina finish her? I think she can. I think she can hurt her with the striking. But it could be one of these drab affairs, 25 minutes, where Chookagian's running, and Valentina just is cutting off the cage, landing the heavier strikes, but not stopping her. Yeah, I'll go Valentina Shevchenko via decision, actually. That's what I'm going to do. But if it goes to the ground, I wouldn't be surprised if Valentina absolutely submitted her either. She's very, very good. I remember Juliana Pena fight. I had a win in that fight. I did not see it coming by submission, though. Everyone thought Pena had the big advantage down there, and it turned out not to be the case. So yeah, if this goes to the ground, she could possibly, a sub prop might not be a bad thing to look at. So yeah, Valentina via decision, I'm going to pick. Yeah. Jon Jones defends his UFC lightweight title against Dominick Reyes in the main event. The GOAT is back, looking to take out another guy who, when you look at him, I mean, stature-wise, I know Jon Jones has always got the reach advantage over pretty much everybody, but height-wise, you've got a guy who's the same height as him. You've seen them square off against one another, and both guys were, like I say, looked ready to go back then. A lot of people are giving a lot of stock to Dominick Reyes in this fight, and I think it's because the lackluster fights that Jones has had in the last two. Now, in saying that lackluster, like me saying he had a lackluster last fight, like I don't understand how people gave Thiago Santos that last fight. If you, I don't see it. To me, when I watch it, I see at very worst 48-47 for Jones. I had it 49-46 for Jones. I know one of the judges, I think, had it for Thiago Santos, sorry. But to me, and people are going like, oh, but he couldn't finish a guy who was injured. Well, I think Jon Jones injured him with those oblique kicks, attacked the legs. Obviously, Thiago Santos was attacking the chicken legs of Jon Jones, and maybe a lot of people are taking a lot of stock into that. And when you look at Dominick Reyes as a fighter, one thing he does well is he throws a lot of kick and big kicks. And he doesn't discriminate where he goes with them. He goes with the leg kicks, he goes with the body kicks. He will go up top with high kicks. But the guy's got a sniper-like left hand. He can hit you with some big shots. He can sit back, and while he's moving, he can kind of plant the back foot, absolutely unload, and the shot goes straight through you, like Chris Weidman. Perfect example. Faded back, put a lot of weight in the back leg, through the left hand, straight through the chin, and that was all she kind of wrote from there. You look at the Kalinn fight, threw a lot of kicks early on in that one, and then eventually he caught him with a shot, and then finished him with an absolutely beautiful uppercut. So the guy has definitely got some, and that was, I think he's had a couple of fights where he's hurt some guys kind of later on in the fight as well with some shots. I think he's a guy over 3 rounds, I think his power will be there. I don't know whether it'll be there at 4 and 5, but to me, I think that if he's going to win this, he has to take Jones out early, and I don't think he can take out Jon Jones early. I think Jon Jones is just too... This is just not the guy that's going to beat Jon Jones at this point in his career. I mean, Jon Jones, I think, has had more title defences than Dominick Reyes has actually had fights. So take that with a pinch of salt, pretty much. But Jon Jones, like I say, I think he needs to get back to his finishing ways here. I think that he's looked a little bit vulnerable in these last 2 fights. I don't know whether he's just not taking the opponent serious. I think you have to take someone like Reyes serious because he's a very aggressive dude who comes forward and, like I say, has power. But if you kind of match them up start for start, you've got someone like Jon Jones there who I think is better across a vast majority of areas. I think if he was to get this fight to the ground, which I think he will, I think... was it Chris Weidman, I want to say, got him down very, very quickly. He lost that one very, very quickly in the fight, but popped back up to his feet. I think if he gets in positions like that, Jon Jones will keep him there. I think his length, going around the body, grabbing something, I just think he won't get back to his feet as easy as he did against a middleweight, essentially, in Weidman. And then once we've seen in the Gustafsson fight, if he can somehow get to any position where he can throw any strikes, he can take you out in mere seconds with the leverage that he's got in his elbows, the way he can just throw. It's just the angles he can throw, like those elbows. We've not seen that in a long time from Jon Jones, and it's even against the cage. It's something that he throws. He did against Rashad Evans so easily, where he just pops him against the cage and he's coming forward with the elbows. He's got so many tools that I don't think you can prepare for in a fight. I just don't think Dominick Reyes is going to really be fully prepared for someone like Jon Jones. Now, if Jon Jones comes in and it is a little bit sitting back and all that, I think that maybe Reyes could maybe make it look a little bit closer. And I don't think Jones has looked as good in his last couple of fights, but like I said, I don't think he's looked bad. I still think he's won fairly convincingly, in my opinion. But obviously, if you're taking the bet on Reyes, I wish you all the best, because you're getting big odds on a guy that could, if he catches Jones with a big left hand or a kick, could ultimately kind of stop the fight. I just struggle to see. I've got Jon Jones to win this fight via a ground and pound in the mid part of the fight. Round 3, round 4 in there. I think that he'll get takedowns, and once he gets there, I think he will stop the fight via ground and pound. So that is my fight picks, my official fight picks for UFC 247 from Houston, Texas. I'll be back next week for UFC Rio Rancho, I think it is. Corey Anderson against Jan Blachowicz. So, guys, if you've got the time, hit the thumbs up. I appreciate the guys in the chat there. Sorry I've not got back to you. I've just been talking through these fights. And yeah, if you're new to the channel and you like what you see, subscribe. Leave a comment below with your picks. I always like hearing your picks when I'm at work and so on. So yeah, all the very, very best. I'll catch up with you next week for UFC in New Mexico. Until then, if you're watching the Super Bowl, enjoy. I hope you make some money. But enjoy UFC 247 when it comes around next week. All the best.